But what's so fascinating is this is something I got right really quickly on when I started lead generating. I wasn't as focused on people that were expiring and going for sale by owner that expired that day, right? What I did really well were the people that expired 12 months ago, because it's a crazy how many real estate agents stop calling them, right? And so it's like when you call an expired, that's brand new. Now I still do that, and our team still does that, and I still did that. But you get this very hostile seller saying like, you're the 100th and 30th person that's called me today. Where were you when my house was on the market? Blah, blah, blah. When you call someone that expired 6 months ago, they're all of a sudden like, they got all these calls the first week, right? They started to get less calls the first month. And now 6 months later, they're barely getting any calls. And all of a sudden they're like a little bit vulnerable. Like, what happened? Everyone was chasing me and now no one's chasing me anymore. And it's like, it was just interesting that was a place where I found the sweet spot for myself. I enjoyed those conversations. I found a lot of motivated sellers, and they were a lot more open to having a conversation because they kind of like got beat up for being on the market for 6 months. And then they came off market and got beat up for a month by getting hounded by realtors. And then all of a sudden everyone just forgot about them and started chasing the newest expireds. And it just showed me how powerful the follow-up is on those type of opportunities.
So what do you think the average is? How long did you follow up with somebody before they would actually become a listing?
I would say on expireds, the sweet spot was 6 months. 6 months for me was the first call was always just, I always did this. After every call, my goal was just to create some rapport, establish some sort of relationship with them, and then text them as soon as I hang up the phone. So let's say I just hung up with you. Michael, hey, great connecting with you. Really excited to have a conversation in the spring, right? Then before my next conversation, I would text you. Now you already saw the last text, right? And I would say, hey, Michael, hope all is well. I just wanted to check in, see how everything's going. And now what's happening is you already see the text message saying that we already spoke. Now, when I call you, all of a sudden it's coming from a recognized number. It's not a cold call anymore. So I really leveraged the first call, not to go in and try to close them. I would really leverage the first call just to establish some sort of recognition and rapport, and then make sure I had that text message in there so that they had a trail of all the text messages when I reached out to them. I would always text them before I would call them, and just to kind of remind them who I was before I actually made the phone call. And it seems like when I did that, they were so much more receptive. When I'd call them, it'd be like, hey, how's your shoulder doing? I know it's been a rough couple months. Like, I just wanted to check in, see how your shoulder's doing. And by the way, what's the plan? Spring's starting to pick up. We just sold this house around the corner. If it made financial sense, would you be open to having a conversation? And it's amazing how by then, all of a sudden, I felt like I wasn't competing against other agents. I felt like it was my opportunity to lose.
Well, what that does too is it changes the nature of the conversation, right?
100%.
So instead of it being me chasing people, it's me attracting people. It's instead of well, I'll give you an example. What you just said. You were talking about the shoulder, and I know you're referencing actually real life. My shoulder broke, right? And I'm assuming that the reason you remembered to think about that is not because you've got the best memory on the planet, but because you use your CRM properly, and you put a quick little note in your CRM to say, hey, next time you talk to Michael, ask him about his shoulder. Or next time you talk to so-and-so, see how their daughter's doing at college or whatever, right? Yeah. And it's little things like that. You don't need, and I think a lot of people, use of CRM is a major component to this. I mean, obviously.
Well, it's so funny. One of I would always also throw that in the text message, like, hey, great speaking with you. Rest up that shoulder, right? So like when I go to, text you again, it's right there.
Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.